Hello, good morning. You're watching Chris on Real Talk on Tuesday, the 25th of May 2021. Now, I know I did a live yesterday. I was doing it old school with the camera and my gimbal walking to work. It was quite an interesting walk, actually. It was strange walking that route, even though I've walked that route a couple of times with the dog and doing this, that, and the other. But going from home to work, for that sole purpose was rather strange. So yeah, that was weird for me. But I got there in the end. It's about an hour and 10 minutes, which was the usual. So JBM Travels, hello, good morning. How are you? I hope you're well. I'm not sure if you can see the chat on the screen. There we go. It is there. The chat is on the screen. So I want to talk about what it was like on my first day back. Robert Madden, good morning. How are you? So I'm back this week. I got today off. So I'm in today, yesterday off, today in tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, then Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. Back on work on Tuesday, the 1st of June. But I want to talk about what it was like for me getting back into that classroom yesterday. It was really strange. Soft 16 stick. Morning, Chris. Did you confront the rumour merchant? No, I didn't. However, I did raise it again with management to find out what's going on, and it is being dealt with apparently. I just hope they arrange a meeting with me, him and they, before I actually manage to catch him. Otherwise, that's going to be a bit of a problem if I catch him by himself, which, it's not going to be great. JBM Travel says, the Flat Cat bus driver. I do know the Flat Cat bus driver, Sean. We play games on the odd occasion. I've got him on a group chat. I have his phone number. We talk on a somewhat infrequent basis, but he's a lovely guy, Sean. Top bloke. Go and subscribe to him. If you haven't already, which is unusual, go and subscribe to Flat Cat Bus Driver. Absolutely fantastic guy. Arriva are losing loads of money from my research. That I can't say. I don't know. I don't work for Arriva. So there we go. So I might have a special guest today. If you haven't gone and subscribed to his channel already, Driving London is a London bus driver. He may be joining me on this. Here we go. In fact, he's here now. Let me just make sure that he's here. Hello. Hello, mate. How you doing? All right. How you doing, mate?
Hello, mate. How are you? Yeah, I'm good.
Not too bad. I was just introducing. I said I might have a special guest on this morning. Driving London. We've got Mike here, and lo and behold, you popped up on Zoom. So
there you go.
How you doing?
Yeah, a bit tired. 8 days straight. Just take the little one to school, and then you appeared. So
yeah, I thought I was actually pointed in your direction, your channel, from one of your subscribers, and I thought, you know what? I think he's doing a bloody good job on this. I'm going to subscribe to you. So I did. And I thought, what better opportunity to try and talk to a London bus driver like myself and find out what his views and opinions are. Now, obviously, I'm not going to get you to say anything which might get you into trouble with a company. So don't mention the name of your company. If you wish to, that's your call. But I don't want to get anyone into trouble. But, just talk about what it's like. So how long have you been a bus driver, mate?
I got to my depot in October, so only 8 months or so.
Oh, wow. So is it just that depot, or were you a bus driver previous to that?
No, I was a black cab driver.
Oh, black cab driver. I'll tell you what, that's unusual. Yeah. It's unusual for a black cab driver to come across to the dark side. And I've got a couple of mates that are cab drivers, although they do say it's a bit of a shitter at the moment with COVID and whatnot.
There are 6 in my depot.
Really?
6 cab drivers. Some were there before COVID. Some were there because of COVID. Some were bus drivers who have done the knowledge. There's a guy I spoke to yesterday. He's got an appearance today, so he's doing the knowledge. My mate Steph started training on Monday. Yeah, so he's done his theory test with Metro bus. Right. No, Metro line. and he'll be out on the road soon, no doubt.
Yeah,
there's my other mate Steve. He's in having an interview today.
Oh wow!
So there'll be less taxis, more buses.
Yeah, thing is, I kind of see that happening because I think fewer people are using taxis at the moment, and obviously buses run all the time; they're always there. You know what I mean? So it must be frustrating though, knowing that you're losing that sort of coin because of the pandemic. It must have been an absolute git. So welcome to buses. That's what, we're not a bad bunch really.
No, it's funny enough. It's like being a cab driver, just driving something bigger.
Well, yeah, I always said. I mean, I've been doing the job about 10 years now, but I've been off for the last 15 months. But it's like driving. I find it easier than driving a car. It just happens to be the size of a house.
Yeah.
I'd much rather drive a bus than drive a car. Funnily enough, I like the higher seating position. It's just easier to drive. It's more comfortable. And a lot of people that don't drive buses will never understand it. But it's yeah.
No, I know. Yeah.
It's a strange one. So I caught a video of yours a few minutes ago, and I was really in a bit of a rush the other day, and talking about COVID restrictions and things coming off a bit too early in the way they're just not right at the moment. And I had to say, I did comment on it. I agreed with you 100%.
No, I think they've all governments, doesn't matter which colour your tie is, they all think about people, and that's what they're doing again. I think with this Indian variant and the South African variant, you've got to remember back in November we locked down because we were into 3,000 cases a day.
Well, yeah,
and we're back.
I know, but their argument is even though the cases are going up, the deaths are still below 20 a day.
Yeah.
That's their argument. And the weird thing is I'm not sure if you've seen any of my channel, but I actually said in April last year what's going to happen in India, and it was a year ago. It's for me, that amount of people with that amount of poverty and lack of medical resources, for me, that was a no-brainer. It was going to happen. The shit was going to hit the fan sooner or later, And the thing is, we both know that Boris Johnson, even though he's probably tried his hardest, whatever he does is too little, too late. He sits on things. I mean, it's like he wants to try and ease restrictions. The rest of them on the 17th of next month, and yet he says he's going to make a decision and tell everyone by the 14th. That's too late to tell people what's going on. Don't you reckon?
Yeah. Well, it was always going to be the case.
Yeah.
I think there's been a lag in time, and people just, I don't know. I think there's always going to be, from what they want to happen to when it actually happens. Should happen, there's always going to be a discrepancy. When it should have, I don't think we should the buses should have full capacity for at least another 2 months, just to see where we're going with this new variant. But they've decided, because they've given themselves 5 weeks. When they said we're going to do this in 5 weeks and another 5 weeks and another 5 weeks, and I said to the missus, there's no way those 5 weeks are ever going to change. It doesn't matter what happens. I think that those doors were always going to open because people are screaming for it.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, he's almost like he's being bullied. I mean, you've got the likes of Captain Hindsight, Sir Keir Starmer on one side, and you've got everyone else behind him screaming, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? We want this to end. And you've got people outside moaning about lockdowns, but they're the first people to start complaining when things ain't done enough or when things are done too much. You can't please everyone. So I understand he's got a difficult job to do, old Bojo, but he just doesn't do it quick enough. That's my only gripe with him, dealing with a pandemic. He's just too late with it. Everything. Even with last year, with closing the borders, putting the first lockdown in, and that wasn't even a lockdown. So I'm very old school. I'm quite an hard bastard when it comes to certain things. I was of the opinion last year that when the lockdown went in, we should have had roadblocks in every town, say between Beckenham and Penge sort of thing, and between Streatham and Brixton sort of thing. There should have been roadblocks and police stopping people. Look, where are you going? I'm going to go do my shopping. Okay, not a problem. We've got your number plate. When you're coming back within the next 2 hours, great. If you're not going anywhere and doing anything meaningful, go home. There should have been something, but no, it was allowed to run wild, and I don't know.
I would have taken it a little bit further. I would have troops,
Yeah.
Being the left that I am, I would have the troops on the street. No, I would have people stopping, like they did in Italy, stopping you. If you needed a valid reason to be on the street, and you needed a permit to be on that street.
Yeah, I agree 100%. 100%. In fact, it's not. I mean, I did actually mention on my channel that we needed the army out. To be honest with you, but I didn't think I'd throw that little nugget in there. But no, it's true. If you're gonna do it properly, don't you reckon?
I think I'm a bit like yourself. What's the point in doing it in half measures?
Exactly.
And that's what they've done. I would have shut the borders. I would have no flights in, no flights out. I don't care. You can do business like you're doing now.
That's exactly what I said. I think it was, in fact, I think it was around about February or March before the first lockdown. I actually said, stop all the flights, apart from cargo. Stop people coming in, stop people coming out. Have goods coming in and out, which can be disinfected at the airport. That's exactly. I've got a live chat on here. You can't see it, but I've got a few people that you might recognise that probably follow you. I've got JBM Travels. I've got Transport Hub. He says, hi, Chris and Mike. He's a good bloke, his Transport Hub.
Yeah. He gets himself
He's all right. So I'm not sure how long you've got on this live. I really appreciate you joining me this morning, and I know it's been a bit of a...
With my meetings around, so I've got a little bit more time than I thought.
Well, it's up to you. Whenever you feel like you need to go, then absolutely no problem. So, what do you reckon bus companies have done? Do you reckon they've done enough in order to try and keep the Joe public safe in London, or not?
I don't. The cleaning that they do in the buses. I watch when I do lights. Not that I've done a lot of lights. Because I've turned into a bus nerd, so I watch cleaners turn into an anorak, and they're wiping all the handrails, and they're doing the buttons, and I don't think you could do much more. I mean, they're talking about having these little blocks on the window so you can't shut them fully. But I haven't seen any of those in my depot. But I do see them clean, and it's down to the driver to put the announcement out about face coverings. But if you're not going to put a face covering on, you're not. Someone sitting in a cabin at the front isn't going to make you do it.
I know, and the thing is, though, we know we're not allowed to ask them, and this is something. I mean, I understand it if you actually can't wear a mask, because there are people who are genuinely that claustrophobic they can't have it on. But as for the reduction of oxygen in your system, that's been disproven so many times. They're saying children don't have to wear masks, but in my opinion, I think they've been one of the main catalysts for it, because they don't show symptoms as much, if any. And they've been going to school. I mean, I've got a 12-year-old boy. He's in school now. I've got a 6-year-old boy in school now. When they come out of school, they're jumping all over each other. No social distancing, absolutely nothing. And I see these kids on buses. I mean, in a year, I've been on 2 buses. I've been on three. I was on a 227 going from Penge home the other day, and I got on a 185 and a 176 yesterday on the way home from work. And they just... thick as 2 planks. I'm sorry, mate. They just don't care. They've got no sense of responsibility or fear of consequence when it comes to COVID. It's almost like they don't think it's a real thing, and yet they're the ones jumping all over each other, spreading it like wildfire. That's.
No, I think I made the same comment to one of my subscribers today. People, they don't they don't care. There are a certain group of people who have never worn them, never will wear them, and they don't care about
Yeah.
you, me, or anyone else because they're not.
Anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers is what it is, mate. And it's
Yeah, and just kids being dumb.
yeah. I mean, even when it comes to vaccines, I mean, again, I understand if you medically can't have the vaccine for whatever the medical reason may be, but saying I don't want it because science is bad, that to me, you're putting not
Right.
only yourself at risk but everyone else around. I mean, I've had both my vaccines. And, you know, if
Yeah.
they say to me, right, you've got a booster next month, stick it in me, mate. There you go. Bosh, away you go.
Yeah.
No problem. You
What
know,
time do you want me to?
yeah, it's just like any vaccine, though. It's like they're moaning, these anti vaxxers, that, oh, it was rushed. We don't have any medical, this, that, and the other. It wasn't rushed. This is what they don't understand. It was worked on 24 hours a day, every
Mm.
single day of the week until they found a solution. Every other
Well,
vaccine.
they had a basis to work on because it's basically the SARS variant anyway.
Exactly.
So they had of the vaccine to start with.
100%. You see, and it's not like they don't have a basis to work on. Was like because you know all other vaccines they worked on for years. There's a wealth of knowledge over a long time in order to make vaccines for say polio and measles and this, that, and the other. They had a head start when it came to COVID, like you said, because of SARS and everything else. Even flu is a type of coronavirus. It was a case of manipulating and adapting what they already had, and they did do it. It was quick, but they worked on it hard. And I
Yeah.
can't fault them for that. And every single
No.
vaccine you take ever is always going to give you side effects. That's just the way it is.
Oh, I mean, I had the Pfizer.
So did I.
Well, I didn't have any problems at all. But I've had. There's a woman at my depot. She had the AstraZeneca. On the same day I had the Pfizer.
Right.
I was in work that day, and she came to work, but she had to leave the bus because she felt so ill. She was off for 4 days, came back for another 2 days, and felt so ill again that she had to take more time.
Well,
it just affects people in different ways.
of course it does. I mean, when I had my vaccine, I was fine for the rest of the day. Woke up the day after, and I felt like I'd been hit by a ton of bricks. I felt absolutely terrible. The day after that, as quick as it came, it went. I was absolutely fine. And with my second jab, nothing. But they did say if you've had COVID previously, your side effects will be worse than what they would normally be. And I had COVID at the start of the year, which is weird because I've been shielding, you know what I mean, for being high risk. So I've no idea how I got it, but, you know, I had it and it is what it is.
My little girl had it.
Oh, did she? Sorry to hear that, mate.
Yeah, she was eight yesterday, so she had it when she was 7. But she never.
Oh, happy birthday to your little girl then.
Yeah, I'm just recovering from that as well. She was just a bit pale, and he'd give her the runs, and that was it. I didn't get it. The missus didn't get it. Because of everything that's going on, the missus panicked and took them both for a COVID test. And the missus was obviously negative, but my little one was positive, which meant I had 10 days off.
Yeah, and the thing is, this is what I like about these lateral flow tests, right? They are quick. They're not 100% accurate, but the thing is, you can order them from the .gov website every single day if you feel like it. You can literally stock up, you know. So obviously, when I had my first day back at work yesterday, I'm going to be doing myself a COVID test later on today because I'm going to be testing myself twice a week at home. For me, that just, I think that's a common sense thing because it's just the way my little crazy mind works. But I got to say, though, it was weird, though, being back at work yesterday after 15 months. I mean, I've been off. I'm not sure if you know, but I've had a pretty shit 2 years. So what's happened is I was diagnosed with cancer in 2019. I had 6 months off work, having heavy chemo and recovery. I went back to work for 5 weeks last year, from February to March, to find that I had to shield and then be furloughed. And so it's been a shit couple of years, really. Yeah, but it's going back yesterday was strange because even though I sat in the classroom and it is like you're being taught how to suck an egg, It really is. I looked at some of that paperwork and I thought, that looks weird. You know, as I look at the log card and I look at the duty card, I'm thinking, I can't believe I forgot that. It's just the silly little things, you know what I mean? You know, then they give you these scenarios. What would you do if a customer did this? Or what would you do? Or can you describe or point out any of these things that happen on the road that you would avoid? Well, the easiest way to avoid anything on the road is to just keep your foot covering the brake when you're not sure about something. It's as simple as that. You see things, you process things at 3,000 things a second as a minimum. And if there's something you don't like or you're unsure about, make sure you're covering that brake and bring the bus to a stop when you need to in good time. It's as simple as that. Keep it safe and simple. Kiss ass, mate. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of people don't understand about bus drivers. I'm going to say you are, as far as I'm concerned, a very well-educated person. You've done the damn knowledge, for God's sake. You were a black cab driver. My best mate, Steve, funny enough, and his brother and his dad, black cab drivers. Very, 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 very clever individuals. And some people, they seem to think that because we're bus drivers that we're thick as a plank. But we're not. We've got more qualifications than most people.
Okay, if you know, it's not like you turn up one day and they throw a bus at you and you say off you trot. You know, you've got to go through the process.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's a difficult process as well.
You know, you've got to go through. You know, you go through the theory test, the hazard perception test, the case studies test.
Yeah,
that's before you need to touch a bus.
Exactly. You've got your mod 4 and everything else that goes along with it, and
all that sort of stuff. I'm going to do a video on mod 4 eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually.
That's not a bad idea. I'm not going to cover that. I'm not going to cover that video. I'll leave that down to you. And for everyone watching, if you haven't subscribed to this handsome chap here, go and subscribe to his channel. Do it. Do it now. I'm not going to say take no for an answer. Go and subscribe to his channel. Do it now.
I'm going to check. Got the phone. I'm checking.
Yeah, he's checking. He's got about 509 last time I checked. And at his rate, he'll be way surpassing my channel because I get very few subs. I talk about anything and everything, and I'm a very acquired taste when it comes to certain things on my channel. I can't lie. I talk about all sorts of bollocks. But
well, that's what it's about. Well, that's life is.
Well,
life is a load of.
Well, it is. That's why my channel's Real Talk. You know, I'd say whatever's on my mind. If people don't like it, they don't have to listen to it at the end of the day. But it's a venting platform is what I do this for. It's like free therapy. Talk to the camera, someone's going to listen. You know, if they don't like it, turn off.
Myself, yeah. Yeah, I think I do the videos. I think it's a little bit more, like you said, it's like therapy. You know, you've got something on your mind and you want to tell people about it, but there's no one on the bus to tell. So I thought, I'll do a video. Talk about that. I don't know. It's a funny world. This YouTube game.
Oh, it is. It is strange because you could do one video where it gets loads and loads and loads of views, and you genuinely, for the love of God, don't know why. Because you probably might think it wasn't that long or it weren't that great, you know. And then you could do a video that you put a lot of effort into it, and you sit there watching the figures, and it's just not going anywhere.
And I did a video, it's 20-something seconds long of a 5 reverse to the standard Thurston Road. It's got 14,500 views.
Bloody hell!
It's 20 seconds long. It's it's mad. And I've got another one. I videoed a mate of mine turning into the Prue from he's parking up at the Princess Royal University. It's like 9 seconds long. It's like 5,500 views.
Oh wow!
If they were an hour long and I got 9,500 views, I'd be quite happy. But
yeah, that's not too bad at all. I mean, I started this channel really. I mean, majority of it was talking about buses and this, that, and the other, and I've had to adapt over the last 2 years really, given my circumstances. But I'm going to start getting back into it, I think. But obviously, I need to be very careful with showing logos and whatnot. I think my management ain't too fussed if I show logos, as long as I'm not bringing the company into disrepute. And I'm not going to do that. But I can talk about my frustrations as a bus driver with passengers and this, that, and the other. And But it is funny that what people like to watch. I think it is a funny thing. Is YouTube? You are right.
I think people who like buses. I mean, there are some channels out there where there's a bloke sitting on the back seat holding a video as the bus drives along for the whole of the journey. Now, some people, he gets thousands and thousands of views. And to me, I couldn't sit and watch that video while he just sits in the middle of the back seat taking a video. It would drive me insane. But some guys love it, because it's this particular bus. I mean, I was talking to a fella who came down from West Bromwich because he wanted to see a particular bonnet number because he hadn't got it. He's driven all the way down from Birmingham to take a picture of this particular bus. And he's coming in. Where's I'm looking for whatever it was, 1174, I think it was. And he wrote down, and I've gone in. I said, "Where's the?" Going and spoke to the GS in there. I said, "Where's this bonnet number, or the running number?" And he went, "Should be coming down from Bromley South now." I said, "I'll be here in 10 minutes." And he's all excited, That's his thing, That's what he took a couple of pictures. He got on the bus, drove to the end of this. He drove to the Prue because it's from the garages to the Prue. There's only 3 stops.
Yeah. Came
back, got in his car, and went home. And that was him. He was happy as Larry.
That's not too bad. The thing is that this is my neck of the woods. I mean, I'm in Sydenham, Penge, Bromley's, the same borough sort of thing. It's a nice area. But I've got to say, of all the sorts of hobbies that you've got out there, people that collect buses, model buses, and collect bonnet numbers and running numbers and this, that, and the other, it's got to be one of the most innocent of hobbies, really, because it's almost like a pure hobby. Before I was a bus driver, I didn't understand it. I thought, bloody bus spotters. Now I'm thinking there's a lot of effort that goes into that sort of thing, really. The amount of times I've driven my number 12, across Westminster Bridge, down Whitehall, and you start noticing people, the same regulars, on a regular basis, and they're there with their really expensive cameras. Let's not lie, like Nikon P900s and this, that, and the other. And I've got absolutely no issue just giving a wave, giving a hand up. Good afternoon, mate. How you doing? Because if they see you looking at them, they'll always give you a hand up, and it's a great community. I think. It's not for me personally, but it is a great community they've got there, and it's if that's what they enjoy.
If the taxis had the same plate, the same plate, and it had the same number on all the time, that was their particular plate, so they were changing every year. There'd be taxi spotters as well.
Well, the thing is, there may well be. They might go for number plates instead of license plates at the back. You don't know. There could be a market for it. You could actually start something right now. You could have literally coined it. This could be your little pet now, and everyone's going to be like, right. Mike's the daddy of this now. We started something. We're gonna do it.
Maybe.
You never know.
Because all taxi drivers have their badge number in the window.
Yeah.
Now, so that could be the.
You never know.
You never know. So I'm being attacked by my kitten.
Oh, look at him. Look at him. I've got a doggy myself. I love cats. I'm just allergic to them, so I can't really have one. So I've got a chat up here. JBM Travel says goodbye. He says Transport Hub says he's got 50 buses now. He collects them. I've seen his collection. It's quite impressive. Bus driver Taylor says, JBM, have you heard of him? I haven't, but I can always keep an eye out for him.
Taylor, yes.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah. He works out of Plumstead.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Same company. Yeah.
Have you heard of the flat cut bus driver?
I have, yeah. But he stopped making videos.
He's gone in. He's hibernating. I talked to him. I know him personally. I talked to him. And what about Double Decker Anton?
Yeah, well, I've got a video, and I was doing a video at the stand at Lewisham.
Oh yeah.
And he was on the 185.
Oh yeah. It's a good route that.
But he's come round, and I said, "It's Double Decker Anton." And then I couldn't get rid of him.
You know what? He's a lovely bloke. Again, I know he works out of my garage.
Yeah.
I know him. Yeah, I know him. He's a very good friend of mine, actually. He's not everyone's cup of tea. I'll give him that. But he's got an absolute heart of gold as Anton, and he's another one that's hibernating. He hasn't done many videos for a while, but I tell you what, if I had even a quarter of the amount of subscribers that he's got with the amount of views, I'd be monetized like that. You know, he's a popular boy, but
there aren't many. I mean, bus driver Johnny.
No Johnny.
He hasn't done a video in 8 months.
Personal circumstances, unfortunately. Well, I can't discuss things like that.
Yeah, all right. Because somebody asked me about him, asked me about everyone else. Is because they all think we live in each other's pockets.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there are quite a few of us. We're in a group chat, funny enough, on Facebook and on WhatsApp. You know, we do bounce off each other a little bit and whatnot. We got a nice little thing going on there, but it is difficult though, because a lot of people on YouTube really think that we talk all the time, and we really don't. But we do talk every now and again, if that makes sense. But
Taylor's
good blokes.
Yeah, he's a good lad, Taylor. Taylor Scrooge. He's only 20.
Really young lad.
Oh, there you go. I've lost a subscriber since you've spoken.
Oh, come off it. That you can't blame me for that.
Yeah, I'm blaming you.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that on the chin.
Yeah, so he's quite a new bus driver as well. So you know, he's got 4,500 subscribers. So he's doing all right.
Yeah.
But he texted me the other day, and you know, he just said that he's not feeling the love anymore. He's not the video fun.
It's difficult. Transport Hub just said, stick Anton in a video and your views will go through the roof. And I've got to say, he's right, because I've had him on here a couple of times, and those videos go, they rock it. They really do. So if you bump into him at Lewisham, just be like, hey, come here, right, camera, right, now speak.
And always have a couple of questions just ready for him in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true, but he's a very complex character. Is Double Decker Anton? There's many different layers to him. He's another clever sod, but yeah, there's a lot to him that he will never reveal on camera, ever. He's
which is fair. You know, I'm not. I don't give a lot away. I mean, everyone knows I've got kids. Everyone knows I was a taxi driver. Everyone knows I've got a cat. I did a questions and answers video, and he just wouldn't leave me alone. So I was terrorized for 45 minutes. And I thought, oh, well, I'm not doing this video again. So I'm, you know, because I only go off my phone.
Yeah.
So, you know, running out of space. So, you know, I'm just going to keep going. And, you know, he's got his bum in the screen and he's climbing up the curtains. Going, don't you? But, yeah, you know, you've got to have a little bit of life outside of YouTube, I suppose.
You do, you do. I mean, I try and post 2 or 3 times a week, but that's literally as I've been off work, right?
Yeah.
What I would normally
live though, aren't they?
There were all mine. Yeah, majority of mine are live. I very seldom record one. Very seldom. Or what I do is I do a video walking to work, which normally takes me about an hour to walk, but I'll go live and I'll talk about the events of the day before, like maybe a funny passenger or, you know, things that I hear and, you know, this, that and the other. And that tends to pick up a lot of traction because I haven't spoken about buses for a while. And I think I should start getting back into the swing of it because that was what was about to get me monetized, funnily enough. And obviously when the shit hit the fan with me a couple of years ago, I had to stop doing that sort of video and it all just stopped. You know, my views went down so bad. But yeah, you know, that's just my format. But again, I talk about anything and everything really. I talk about being a dad, you know, I talk about driving in general, not just buses, video games and how to look after your pet and being a good pet owner, all sorts of stuff. I mean, people that don't like you've got a cat. I'm not sure how many cats you've got or if you've got a dog, but people that don't have any pets don't realise that it's like having a kid.
Oh God, it's worse.
It's a lot of it's a lot of responsibility.
Have to, making sure that you close the doors behind you so he doesn't get out, and it's like having baby gates without having baby gates.
Exactly. I mean,
he's only 12 weeks. He's 12 weeks today. It's his birthday.
Love him. I mean, I've got a Staffy. I mean, he's an old git. He is my doggy. But if you was to look at him, you'd think he's about 3 or 4. Because I don't overfeed him. He's very trim. He's got that classic S shape from his belly to his chest, and he's got a puppy face. But he's old. I mean, he's older than my oldest boy. So he's always been in his life, and touch wood, we have him for a good few years more. But it's going to be, both of my kids are going to be distraught, and so am I, because he's basically one of my kids, my dog. And again, people they just don't understand it. You love them, you look after them, you feed them, you treat it. And not being funny, he sits on the sofa, right, with his back against the sofa like that, staring at the television. He just sits there staring at the television. Then he'll look over at you. He'll do that to paw you, and unless you put your hand on his belly, he'll just keep doing that. And the second your hand goes back onto his belly, he's happy. He's sitting there watching whatever's on the telly at the time, and he's a lazy sod, but he's like a little person. They've all got their own personalities, haven't they? Even cats. I mean, I love cats. Like I said, I can't have them because I'm allergic.
He's a Bengal. They're about $2,500, but Bengals don't have normal cat hair. They have a pelt.
Oh, really?
I think Blue, because Blue's a moggy wherever he's gone. He's killing something somewhere. But I think he's got Bengal in him somewhere because he's got the little spots on his belly.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. So he hasn't lost any hair either. So I think that might be why. But
possibly. I mean, my sister, she's got cats. She's got 2 kittens. Well, they're not kittens anymore, but she's had them for about 6 months to a year. And she's always been, she's always had dogs. And the second she got these cats, she went nuts with them. She bought all the blooming jumping stands and scratch poles, and she has become the crazy cat lady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To be honest, I haven't been to smile so much since we got the cat. Because she's a cab driver as well. Funny enough, at work today, she's on her way home. She's on her way home now. She's had enough. She's weaning herself into it, not off it. But she hasn't worked since the schools broke up for the first lockdown.
Oh, wow.
So she's sort of been self-furloughed in a way. But here he is. So she's struggled when he's there was that's what you wanted. It's a mouse. Hey, Blue. Yeah, so there was no discussion. I woke up one Sunday morning. I was off, and she said, "Come on, you're driving me to get a cat." I went,
"Fair enough.
What's the point in arguing?" And then he turned up, and he sort of. It's almost as if he's never been we've never been apart. He's always been a part of our lives.
That's do you know what? That's magic when that happens, isn't it? Because when they fall into your life like that, it's like it was meant to be. You can't imagine what it's like without him now.
He's such a lovely little thing, He has his mad half hour, which when he's tearing around, and we bought him a box of mice, little furry mice, and we put them back in the box, and he spends 20 minutes digging them all out, and then flicking them all around the room, and then we gather them all back in the box, and he flicks them all around again. So
it's all a game to him, isn't it? As long as they're happy and entertained, but they're children, they're kittens.
Yeah, as long as his belly's full and he'll sleep through the night. When I wake, so I've got an early shift, I'll wake up, and he'll wake up, and then he terrorizes the house. Because once he's awake, he has to play. So now we sort of lock him in the front room with his litter tray and leave him so he doesn't terrorize the upstairs. It's
Yeah.
quite funny.
I mean, funny you should say that about locking. After you, sorry, I do apologise, mate.
No. I was going to say it's almost as if he's like I said, we've only had him 3 weeks, but I can't remember a time that we without him.
Yeah, it's strange.
Funny.
It's funny you should say about locking the door. I mean, we've always had our front door, well, not front door, excuse me, the living room door open. So, our Stanford can come walking in and out as he pleases of a night time. He could sleep on the sofa if he was comfortable. He curl up with a cushion. But we've had to start closing it recently because we've got new sofas. And it's like, I don't want him to scratch my leather. I just don't want him to scratch my leather. The old sofas, I didn't care too much because they were a bit long in the tooth, but I just don't want him to get on my leather and scratch it. So I've had to close the door. And, the first day we put the door on, I think it was about 11 o'clock at night. I'm in bed. All of a sudden you hear thunk like that. It's like, what the fuck was that? It was him trying to get into the living room, headbutt the bloody door, dickhead. He didn't realise it was there.
The missus has just turned up, so the swearing will start now.
That's all right. Nothing like a little bit of fucking bad language.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw on YouTube the other day, but the amount of complaints about it is unbelievable.
What? Complaints from who?
Subscribers emailing me. Oh, yeah, because I've put my email address in the message in the line. Keyboard warrior.
It is what it is.
I don't think that sort of language is acceptable. It's just going to shut.
Yeah, no worries.
She'll spend half an hour loving him, and then you'll sleep and feed him 12, and he's got his own set times for feeding now. Yeah. And we're not allowed to feed him at any other time.
And it's the same as ours. We feed him just after we've had our dinner. It's more of a dominance thing. Long as we've had it, it's pecking order. We have our dinner. About half hour later, we put a set amount of food in his bowl, but that's him once per day. Otherwise, because the thing is, dogs are scavengers. They're greedy little fuckers. If I've got to feed him once a day, otherwise he'll end up ballooning out.
So he's Blue's like a little balloon with this little balloon in the middle, all with bones and skin. That's all he is, and really short claws.
Yeah,
so got him with a pole and a little pom pom thing on the top, and he's destroyed it all. He's only had it 3 days.
That's what they do. So, when you first jumped in that bus of yours, right? First day in service, we all remember the first route in service we drove by ourselves. What was your first experience like in service, first bus by yourself, no mentor, passengers? Joe Public.
Because I'm a cab driver, I've dealt with idiots for 20 years.
Mm.
And it's like I said, I've got a screen behind me. Hello. I'm talking about you and the cat.
It's all good.
All good.
Nothing but positivity. Positivity, sorry.
Bye-bye. Yeah, because I've dealt with the public, the pay, the people, get in the bus, and the buses are just bigger taxis, So I wasn't really fazed by it, but it is quite daunting, I think the first bus I drove in service was a Enviro 400 MMC, 13 meters long, 14 and a half feet high. And then, they're a nice drive, compared to the old Enviro 400s. It's like driving a car.
Well, yeah, and that's what people don't understand.
People haven't been, you get the odd one. I mean, I had one couple of kids, and I had the screaming up because everyone just didn't want to pay that particular day. And these two kids got on. I say they were late teenagers. They got on, and they said, "Can I get?" I went, "No, not today." I mean, give me a load of mouthful. Told me exactly who I was and what I was.
Yeah, you do get some people like that though. All kids, I don't know why they think they can get away with it.
And they got on, went upstairs, walked about the bus. So I turned the bus off. Made an announcement. I said, well, the two young gentlemen who just got on the bus, come down and pay or get off. Because I was early. I said, I'm not going anywhere until you either come down and pay or get off. Anyway, so stupidly, I left the front doors open and didn't leave the back doors open. So they got off the front and got hold of the mirror, snapped it, pulled that off. So then I opened the back doors and told everyone got off, and the people who got off the bus weren't particularly happy with these two young gentlemen.
No.
But, what can you do?
Yeah. I think a lot of the time, though, especially when you're in the right, and that what you've said is reasonable and fair, passengers on the bus will generally side with the driver. It's very rare that the public will side with the person you're trying to confront about their fare.
It's almost like they have I'm getting on anyway. It's a self-entitlement. It's like as I said, it's not a free service.
Yeah. I mean, I draw the line at certain things. I mean, if you're a young kid, let's go by years. I mean, year 7, 8, and 9, as rule of thumb, I've got no issue if they get on my bus. Not really. I used to. I used to be an absolute git with it. But now I'm at that point now, I'm thinking, well, they're young kids. They need to get home. But from years 10, 11, 12, anything older than that, they should know better, really. They've always got their phone in their pocket, always doing this, that. And it's like, if you haven't got your bus pass, keep it with your damn phone. You never lose your phone. You'll never lose your bus pass. You know what I mean?
We have a school bus service that we run for that, those extra school buses. From a very nice school in Chislehurst.
I know Chislehurst very well.
Even there, because I think it's a sort of aerial thing. Well, not an aerial thing. It's an area thing where they certain areas, so they think they don't care. Because as I drop off, I come through Chislehurst, I come through Nottingham, and then I go through Grove Park. And when you get the ones the ones that get off at Grove Park, and through there, they're the ones that always give me grief. But
Grove Park,
it's a service.
Do you go through Grove Park and then go on to Bering Road?
No, on the normal route I do, the 261 goes Grove Park, Bering Road, but the other one, it goes Burnt Ash. Burnt Ash Lane, up through Bromley, up to Bromley South, through Plaistow Green. And it's a good. I don't know if it's not a public school. It's like a girls' grammar school, and the attitude of some of them.
Yeah, I think the attitude of kids is bad.
It is. It's shocking, and they just look at you. They sneer at you.
I'll call them animals because they are. Not all kids. Let's not tar all kids with the same brush. But a lot of them, they seem to think it's okay to try and have that kind of alpha. I have to be the alpha, be the loudest. They're always competing with each other to see who's more obnoxious. That's what I find. I've got a quick question. We've got Stuart, bus driver, says, "Hi chaps, just on a break. Hope you're both okay." Yep, not too bad. I'm not too bad. I don't think Mike's too bad either. Thanks for joining us, Mike. Appreciate it. And we've got Sam Stephen here, says if they've got a phone, they can use Google or Apple Pay. But that all depends whether they've got their parents to put some money on Google or Apple Pay. If they haven't got the money, then they can't do it in it. I'll tell you one thing that really annoys me. Go on, after you. You started first. Go on. Sorry, mate.
If you go past my last stop is Princess Royal University Hospital.
Yep.
If you go a mile further down the road, you pay. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. Everyone who gets on that bus pays to get on that bus. You got to say Tunbridge to Tunbridge Wells.
Yeah, you got the green buses. They're Arriva Shire, isn't it?
£7.
Yeah.
From Tunbridge Wells. And you know about it. I'm from up north originally, and I think I've said in one of my videos, I went home to see my mum. A mate of mine said, "Look, I'm at the rugby club. Why don't you come down?" I haven't got any transport. I'll get the bus. So I got on the bus and I had a couple of quid in my hand, thinking it's going to be a couple of quid. And I went, I want to go off at the bus station in Durham. We were at £9, please. I said, it's 9 miles.
And this is what people don't understand, how lucky they've got it in London. I mean,
you go to Manchester, everyone pays. And the minimum fare in Manchester is £2.50.
Yeah. I mean, I think I found out yesterday, I mean, like I've been out of the loop for 15 months. I found out yesterday that bus fares have gone up to £1.55 on an Oyster card. I didn't know that.
I didn't care really.
Yeah, but the thing is, what you got to remember is the value of buses in London is fantastic. This is why TfL's got no money, really, because you can get on a bus for an hour and go as far as you like for £1.55.
There's a fella called Jeff, I think it's Jeff Mitchell. I might be wrong. And he mostly talks about trains, but he did the longest journey you can do on a Oyster card. And he got on the bus somewhere in Orpington, went to Croydon, got the tram to Croydon, got something else, and he went to Heathrow. As long as you tap in within
that hour,
minutes,
yeah,
it's 70 minutes now.
Yeah,
that's minutes. You can literally travel the whole length of London.
You could.
30 odd.
I mean, when you think about it, I mean, you can go from Bromley, right? Bromley to Crystal Palace, right? On a 227 on a good day, it will take you around about 20-25 minutes. Won't take long at all. From that last stop at Crystal Palace, you can jump on a number 3, right? And then from Crystal Palace to Brixton, will take you again on a good day, 25 minutes to half an hour with no traffic, 20 mile an hour. So you've got another 20 minutes discrepancy. If it's 20 minutes one bus, 20 minutes another bus, even if you've got a 10 minutes, left of that hour and you're in Brixton, you can get on a bus from Brixton to bloody Marylebone or God knows where. Within, you can go really, really far for £1.55.
Yeah, you can use as many buses as you like within that hour. It's ridiculous.
And people still don't want to pay. I don't get it.
Yeah, because they think they're entitled. That bus turns. What annoys me is that they turn up with bags and bags of shopping, which they haven't paid cash. And I've lost my eye. So what did you pay with?
Yeah.
Just please. It's because they don't think. Oh, I can't pay with a card because it's not right. Because my Oyster's not working, so I'm not paying with my money because it's an Oyster card. It's not my money.
Yeah. And then you've got people that argue. It's like they'll have their emergency fare. So they've had 0. They've used their last £1.55. They've got 0. But they've still got that emergency fare. It's an Oyster card overdraft. It's a wonderful thing. But when someone gets on your bus and it goes beep, beep, and they're like, oh, hang on a minute, I've used I've got fare. You haven't, I'm sorry. They'll stand there for minutes at a time arguing with you why you're wrong. Look, I'm terribly sorry. Tell you what I'll do. Let me just do a printout on the Wayfarer. Bosh, bosh. There you go. Press the button. Tap your Oyster card on there for me, please. And it gives them a printout of the last 8 transactions on that. And the second they look at it, they're like, well, here's my receipt. I don't care about the receipt. I'm sorry if you topped up and it isn't on there, but you've used it. This is the proof that you've used it. I can't help it.
Come out of the shop in Bromley South and I've just put money on it. I said, well, you obviously haven't because it's not on your card. And it's in some days you just want to argue all day, because you're in that frame of mind. And other days you just think, oh, for Christ's sake, just get on the bus and shut up. But when was the last? I haven't had enforcement on my bus in the 8 months that I've been driving it.
No.
So
I would imagine you haven't. I think this is another reason why TfL. I mean, I was talking to Revenue in March last year, just before I was furloughed. Devon, his name is. He's a regular on my bus. He's a lovely bloke. And I said to him, look, any vacancies going? Because I actually wanted to get over on the revenue side of things. And he said, you've got absolutely no chance. TfL ain't paying for them, and we're 80 revenue inspectors short. 80 80 short, and this is what they're not. If they've 80 revenue inspectors short because they don't want to pay for them, and yet they're moaning that they're not collecting fares. It's like, what do you do if people ain't paying their fares and you're not collecting the fines? You need those 80 in order to do that, in order to make sure that revenue is protected.
It's not the bus driver's job to collect those fares. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be put on him to have to argue the toss with that passenger. And the amount of buses that I've been on, and where the got on and they say, because they want to whisper through the mask and through the screen. They went, I can't hear you, mate. We say, I haven't got my Oyster, and then they go, and the driver waves them on. Now, everyone does it. Everyone does it.
We've all done it. We've all done it. Whether we like it or not, we've all done it.
We do it on a daily basis. You go through Grove Park. Most of the kids don't want to pay anyway. Yeah. They've got a sense of entitlement, and they think why should I? None of my mates do it, so why should I?
Yeah.
So enforcement. I go fare evasion every time now. Gosh, fare evasion. And if someone gets on, then I'm covered.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm covered. It's not like, well, why did you let him on? So how am I going to? Because I'm not getting out of there.
Yeah.
I'm not getting out there for some young kid to stick something sharp at me. So that's down for you. That's why you're enforcement. No.
Exactly. I mean,
TFL, what Murray, TFL are on their knees. But what they need to do, like I said, they need to pay a little bit of money out to bring these 80 people in, put them on the buses, and get these people to pay the fare.
Or better yet, get actual ticket inspectors that actually sell the ticket on the bus. I mean, go old school. I mean, if they really wanted to, yeah. I'm a massive fan of actual ticket collectors. On buses. That's why I used to love the old Route Master. I really did. And when we had these I drive the Boris bus. When these Boris buses came in, excuse me, and TFL were paying for these people to stand at the back, I was under the assumption, because we never had those at our garage, but a lot of garages did have these TFL bods standing at the back with their iPads. I thought they were there to collect fares. They weren't. They were literally there for health and safety, because that back door was always open. And they were
never open it.
Yeah, but the thing is, they were supposed to be open the whole time. If you had someone on the bus, a passenger assistant, a PA, they were there to make sure people didn't get hit by a cyclist. That's it. They should have been able to collect fares. But in all fairness, though, even on that bus, I mean, there's three or four different opportunities on that bus to pay their fare. People get on that bus and they jump off. It's out of my hands. And look, if the way I see it is on that bus, if you walk past me, you get on the middle door or the back door, that's your responsibility. If you walk past me and give me a funny look at the front door, sorry, mate, can you pay your fare, please? I'm going to pay it down there. No, you got on at the front, you're going to have to tap your card on at the front. Or my favourite, no matter what type of bus I drive, you always get one woman with Mary Poppins' handbag. She's had it on her all day long, right? And she'll put it on. Yeah, she'll put it. She'll put it on the luggage bay, and she'll be elbow deep looking for this Oyster card. Oh, it's all right, driver. Just go. I've got it. Yeah, 2 bus stops later, you're at where she needs to be, and she jumps off. Sorry, driver. No. Sir, no. You've got your bus pass. You can pull it out your magic bag, and you can pay your bus fare. Thank you very much.
Or in their pocket all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't get someone in your taxi, would you? It's like, yeah, can I go to, it's going to be a long one. Can I go from Marble Arch to Clapham, please? And I'm just looking for my wallet. One sec. You get all the way there. It's like, well, are you going to pay or not? Oh, no, sorry, I forgot my wallet. No, it doesn't work like that.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
They do it.
Like me.
Yeah.
Transport Hub says he once held the world record for travelling to all underground stations and has been to the National Rail Station in the UK. I think you might be talking about that person you were talking about who did the longest trip on...
I think his name's Jeff Marshall.
Yeah, it's Transport Hub says it here. Jeff Marshall. We bang on the money. You were there. Transport Hub is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to stuff like that. He really is.
Oh yeah, full of it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lovely bloke.
Yeah, he's nice.
He'll always have your back.
He always leaves a comment.
Yeah, he always leaves a comment, and he's one of the most supportive subscribers I've got. He really is. He's such a good bloke. You know, so I never forget the first time I drove my first bus. I was actually driving the 185, funny enough. And they said, right, you're a spare driver for 6 months, so I had to learn all the routes in my garage. You know, I don't like route learning, to be honest with you. It goes in one ear and out the other. I don't pay attention, but I know the 185 route. And I got on the bus, took the bus out of service to Lewisham, started from the station, and come out the station, went through Lewisham. I got to Catford, right, and I was just by the theatre, going towards Forest Hill, and I got a bus full. It must have been about 60 kids. You know, I mean, I was already half capacity in. They just all started cramming past the driver's door, you know, not touching Oyster cards on. And I sat there. And I was like, "Any of you going to pay your bus fare? Hey, driver, go suck your mum." Yeah, no. Sorry, mate. No. I'd rather suck your mum, to be honest with you. You know, just look at your ears. They're about the same as mine. I might be your dad. You know, you know. In fact, judging by your age, your mum's probably my age. I probably went to school with her. Funny enough. And back in the old days, I was a bit of a mouthy shit. I can't lie. But you know, then what made it even worse is they all had boxes of chicken shop, right?
Oh yeah.
And then they leave all their bones and boxes on the floor, and it looked like a bloody voodoo ritual. I was waiting for someone to put a bloody pentagram on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I don't let them on.
Yeah, I'm at that point. I'm stammering. I do apologise. I'm at that point now where if I see you at the bus stop with a box of chicken shop and I'll say, look, sorry mate, I can't let you on the bus with that. Or why not? Because it stinks. And this is a bus, not a restaurant. Finish it. You can get in the bus behind. Absolutely not a problem. But you should have your dinner at home.
Yeah. A little while ago, funny enough, one of the drivers was coming down from Bromley North, and he got on, and guy, I'm going down Bromley Common, and the guy, little kid, sticks his hand out, and he's, you know, I've got a bus pass. I said, but you can afford to buy that. I said, why?
Thank you. That's exactly what I've said. I've said, you know, you got a box of chicken shop. You know, you got the meal deal. It's going to cost you what, £3.99, £4.50, whatever. You get on my bus, you walk past me. I ain't got any money, but you can buy a chicken shop. How does that work? You could have topped up your zip card.
Yeah, and I just said no. He said, "Can I get on?" I went, "No." He went, "Yeah." Again, called me all, you know, told me who I was and what I was.
Yeah, you get all that.
The driver said, "I just let him on." I said, "No, that stinks."
It's tough love at the end of the day. You know, it's tough love. They've got to learn a little bit of respect and manners, isn't it?
I think I've been driving about a week. I've come down and I picked up the kids from Bishop Justice School. You don't want to go there. Turpin Lane bus stand on Bromley Common. It's a narrow pavement.
I know it very well. I know it very, very well.
Thousands of them trying to get on the bus.
Yeah.
Anyway, they've piled on. They've opened the back doors. They've all piled on, as they do. I've got as far as the Bertha James Centre down at just before Mason's Hill.
Yeah.
And fire. Fella comes down and says, "Your bus is on fire, mate." So obviously I've tipped everyone off, gone upstairs, and they're all sitting there full of smoke. What they're doing, they're burning paper.
Fucking idiots.
No damage to the bus. It's absolutely belting down outside. I went, all of you, off.
The thing is, what they don't understand, right, is if you had that hit one of the seats, I don't care what they say about the seats being fire retardant, they will go up like a fucking tinderbox. The amount of times I've seen buses on fire on videos, and it's a matter of seconds. That's really it is. People don't understand that.
While it will smolder through the it'll burn, but it'll smolder through the cover. But once we're into that foam, it'll go up like a tinderbox.
Absolutely. And they do go up. They really do. It's scary. I mean,
literally the whole top deck is just full of smoke. So I've opened the window. I've called iBus, done a code red, blue, whatever it was, and they said, I went, I can't see because it's too smoky. It was really bad. Anyway, I've shut the doors, and it's cleared up. And I went, look, I can't see any damage. It's just really smoky. And iBus says, and iBus is as they do. They went, carry on.
What?
So they're all, yeah, carry on. Yeah. So I've shut the doors and I've just left them there in the rain, and and it was the best journey I've ever had because you're going to be stopping everywhere because the little buggers get off everywhere. So I just, because I dropped in by myself, picked a few. Oh, it's a bit smoky in here, driver. I said, yeah, well, there's idiots upstairs set fire to something. So and off we went. Got to Lewisham, and I think I picked up another 3 people. It was the most perfect journey after that.
Oh, I think. Sorry, I was interrupting. I do apologise, mate.
No, it's just.
Yeah.
I'll sit back and listen.
No, so I think one of the best journeys I've ever had. I was doing a 468 trip, and we don't have that route anymore. I think that's gone to Arriva. It's the 468, but it's a lovely trip. You go from South Croydon at the Swan and Sugarloaf down to Elephant and Castle. Now during the day, it ain't too bad, but morning and evening school runs it is like trying to control wild animals going to a zoo. It's terrible. But that route on an evening, right, between 1-2 o'clock in the morning is absolutely magic, because even though it's a long ass route, it's about 10 or 12 miles, right, you can do it in way less than an hour. And I remember I left about 1:30 from the Sugarloaf, went through Croydon, not a soul. It was beautiful. Went all the way from Croydon down to West Norwood, had 1 passenger. Right, I managed to go from West Norwood all the way through, up and over Herne Hill, all the way down to Camberwell. That same 1 passenger, and I thought, am I showing my blind correctly? Check my blind. Yeah, it's fine. From Camberwell all the way through to Elephant and Castle, about 45 minutes, if that. In fact, I got there early. 1 passenger on the bus. It was beautiful. You get some like that.
There's an old boy. I don't think he's driving anymore, but I think he furloughed and he just didn't come back. And he basically said to me, a good bus is an empty bus. An empty bus
is a happy bus. Oh, well, we say that down at Camberwell all the time. An empty bus is a happy bus. It's very true. It is.
Yeah. I've been doing, last week I was doing 6s, going in at 6 and 7 because I've been doing the school bus rota. And then on Saturday morning they throw me in at 4. And I whinged and bitched about that. But I was, it's not so much getting up at 4. It's that little bit of difference because, getting up at, if you're starting at 7, I can get up at 6, throw myself together, and I'm going to be at the depot by 1:45.
Yeah.
Not a problem. But starting at 4, you got to get up at 3.
Yeah.
And it just rocks you down. Anyway, so I've done this job, but on the 261, the first bus finishes at 2:20, 1, 20 past, something like that, 20 past 1, I think it is. But you get 3 rounders before you break. All right.
Oh.
And the video that I did, whinges and bitches about it to start with, because I'm in Lewisham first time round, because you leave at 4:15 in the morning, first bus out. And then I'm in Lewisham on the 185 stand because I don't care. And I've got because it's 4:45, and I've got because you've got to push it, because they give you 30, it's 9 miles from the Lewisham. And you've got 35 minutes to do it.
What? How does that work out with average speed limits and stopping and picking people up? That don't
37 minutes, something like that. It's about 35, 37 minutes. And you've got to push. You can't just poodle. You've got to hit that speed. I mean, I don't know how the the new 484 drivers get on. Is it 484? The Enviro 200 EVs?
I think the 484 comes out of my garage now, funny enough. Yeah.
But they're speed restricted. So if you're in a 20-mile-an-hour limit, you can only do 19.
Yeah, that's actually coming in on all new buses over the next few years, that speed limiter. I mean, it's a good idea in practice, because we shouldn't be driving
every bus in London will be late. There'll be no stand time. There'll be nothing. It'll be a constant circle.
Well, the thing is, I'll always take my stand time. I couldn't give a monkey's. I take my 5 minutes. The amount of controllers, and I can't tire all controllers with this, but there are some that'll be like, "Oh, can you go in and out?" Nah, sorry, mate. Oh, but there's going to be a massive gap. I said, "Well, you should have thought about that. You should have turned me in at Peckham Rye. You should have thought about it. If there's going to be a massive gap, you should have turned me in at Peckham. I could have had 10, 15 minutes, sort my bus out, go back in, get a nice headway. But you want me to go in and out? No, mate. I'm going to take me 5 minutes. I'm going to have my vape. I'm going to have a quick drink. I'm going to check my bus for defects. I'm going to have a pee. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to take 5 minutes, and then I'm going to depart."
From when I leave, it takes 3 to 4 minutes for me from getting from Lewisham bus stop round to the stand, get it parked up, and then my 5 minutes start. That's what I say to them. I said, "No, my 5 minutes don't start now. It's from when I get to the stand in Thurston Road." So I once I've parked up, the bus is turned off and my doors are open, my 5 minutes starts. I go out, I go for a wee, I'll get myself a cup of coffee, I'll do whatever I need to do, and then I'll call them up and I'll say, "What time do you want me to leave?" I'll leave them to make the decision for me what time I should leave. And if they don't answer me for 5 minutes, then that's their fault.
Yeah. It is. I mean, on my route, I mean, I drive the Route 12, right? It's for me personally, it's the best route in the garage. I call it the elite route. You've got to be driving at least a year on any route in that garage in order to get put on that route, because they won't let anyone do it. It's just the way it is. The rules in that garage. When I've been driving that route for about 10 years. I think the best time for driving, specifically that one, is on the night rotor. I mean, if it was me, I'd prefer to go on dead earlies. I mean, I've got no issue getting up. I mean, the first bus at Oxford Circus is around about 5:05 in the morning, and I always get to work about 40 minutes early so I can have a coffee, get my paperwork sorted out and whatnot, and I'll walk. So I always get up 3 hours before my duty starts. I mean, it's a 4.2 mile walk to work, and gets the heart rate up and all that. But I'd rather do that because I get to finish early, get the rest of the day to myself. Finish at around about 1:30 in the afternoon. But the best duties really are the night drivers. They treat that like gold dust. They really do. They don't want to give it up because
we don't have them.
Yeah,
we don't have a night.
They give you from Dulwich to Oxford Circus, right? They give you, I think, on the shortest running time, about 30 minutes, 32 minutes, right? And if you have to stop at every bus, I mean, it's very rare that you've got to stop at every bus stop on a night route anyways. It's very rarely happens. But the amount of times I've done that, and I've got to Oxford Circus early. I mean, like, not just a little bit early. I'm talking like a good 10 minutes early. Driver, why are you so early? You're not keeping time because there's no headway. Well, I'm sorry, mate. What do you want me to do? I'm driving to the speed limit. I'm not going to stop at a green light. I can't see the bus in front. And I've picked up two people. What do you want from me? I can't just poodle along at 10 mile an hour because there's cars behind me that I end up going to get in the arsehole.
They'd stick you on because you're not running to the time.
Yeah.
That's what,
and it's, I mean,
we don't have night routes. First bus out is 4:15. The last bus in is 5. So, is it a night duty? Not really. It's late. Yeah. So we don't have, we have lates, middles, and earlies.
Yeah, I think the latest late we've got on my route now, because they did a big shake up of the duties last year, and I think the latest standard rota finishes at around about 3 o'clock in the morning, or just after 3 o'clock in the morning. That can't be right. It can't be, because the first night driver finishes at around about 5 o'clock in the morning. How does that work out?
Well, because so you have a crossover of, because you have a minimum of at night, don't you? It's like a skeleton crew. So you have don't want to do it, no, so I don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I would ideally, I mean, not ideally, but I mean, I would go on the night rota, if there was space. The only thing that holds me back, though, is I wouldn't get to see my kids. So I'd be sleeping all day, bearing in mind they're at school. I wouldn't get to see them anyway. But then I'd get up just as they come back from school, and then I'd be getting ready for work. And then I'd go to work. I wouldn't get to see them all night. I'd come home, and then I'd have to go straight to bed. You know, I wouldn't get to see them. That's the only thing holding me back. Other than that, the money on a night route, I mean, if your garage ever did get a night route, right, they would have to give you some kind of subsidy for that, or because they do get extra pay in our garage, night drivers. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, doing a night route on a rest day is night drivers pay plus time and a half. It's like, get in there, son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It works quite well. I mean, I mean, 8 days in a row. God, dear. That's a bitch.
Yeah, that was my, that was my fault. I said yes.
Yeah.
When I should have, because I was on the jury service, and because when they basically still put you in the roster, but they put you in Monday, Friday, and give you weekend off, as you do in jury service. But because of that, I came back halfway through a week, and my days off were all over the place. So I would have been off Thursday, Friday, in on a Saturday, and then have Sunday and Monday off. And they said, why don't we squash them all together? You have 4 days off and you come in on Monday. I went, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Then it sort of dawned on me halfway through the first shift that I've got 8 days now left to do. So yeah, so it was my fault. They'll try it, they'll push it, and I fell for it.
Nah. But it is what I mean, not being funny. I mean, the amount of times they say, oh, can you do this one for me? No, sorry, mate, I can't. But it's a really good one. And I said, no, I've just worked 2 rest days. What do you want from me? Oh, go on, please.
We've got so many furlough drivers back now that we hope the overtime's just gone flattened out.
I can imagine. I think, what's the maximum you can do? Is it, 14 days in a row before you have to take time off, isn't it?
13 days.
13 days.
Then you have to have a 24-hour period. Doesn't mean you have to have a day off.
Yeah.
You have to have a 24 period. So you could finish work at 12 on the Friday, and you could come in at 5 minutes past 12 on the Saturday, because that's 24 hours.
Yeah.
So, you want to be walking out the door when that happens.
Yeah. I mean, what gets me is with some duties, you could finish at 7 o'clock in the evening, and yet they want you back in at, 5 o'clock in the morning. But they don't take into consideration your travel time. I mean, I know they don't. But I think, was it a 9-hour gap between shifts? I think they have to give you.
It's either 10. No, it's 10 or 8.5, 3 times a week.
Yeah, something like that. But it's not enough.
You can finish at midnight and be back at work at 8:30 the next morning.
Give me 1 sec. We've got some people in the chat being rather obnoxious. They're strange people. I'm going to be reporting them and removing them.
You need a moderator.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to do it all myself, really. I mean, a moderator would be great, but I've got a funny feeling it's the same person jumping in with different usernames. But, it is what it is. It's this sort of thing. The funny thing is, I've only started recently getting silly sods doing stuff in the chat like that since last week. And the reason is, and it's going to sound really stupid, is I was on the hunt about a week and a half ago for someone who believes the earth is flat, so I could talk to them on my channel, right? And try and find out their mindset, what got them into believing it. And I went live 4 days in a row, pretty much, with the Zoom details on the screen. It's like, you can join me, we'll just discuss it, tell me why you think blah, 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 blah. And of course, the words "flat" and "Earth" appeared on my title screen. You know, on video title. So people clicked on it, and ever since then, I've had a few people jump in and out of my lives, just being obnoxious, and that's the sort of thing that, unfortunately, a lot of flat earthers they do. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, every video I post now, I get someone putting porn in it.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, you do get them, because what they'll do is they'll comment on it, and it will say like 00.40, and then a web link, and then I'm like, well, I'm not. To be fair, YouTube do catch a lot of them before I even get anywhere near it. But if I do find it and it's still there, yeah, exactly. I mean, I did get one person on last week. He joined me on the Zoom, and he had a Michael Jackson mask on and wasn't saying anything. And he was saying to me, "Oh yeah, my microphone's not working in the chat." So I removed him. I removed him from the Zoom, and I thought, you can come back in. I didn't block him. You can come back in and try again if he says his microphone ain't working. But I'm beginning to think that he was trying to troll me, just sitting there with a Michael Jackson mask on, like that, creepy as fuck. And it's like, you can't get a decent conversation out of some of them. You can't. That's all I wanted, was a decent conversation. But yeah, some people in the chat. Yeah, very rare, but it does happen, unfortunately. But I think it's my own fault. I shouldn't have spoke about the Earth being flat when it's blatantly not.
Remember, Anton did his a couple of months ago, I think it was, and the amount of trolls that he gets is unbelievable.
What was he talking about anyway on that one?
Shit, just blurbing as he does.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
Something or the other.
It wasn't about KFC this time.
No, that double down burger. Do you know what? I've had that. What a load of old shit that was. That was more disappointing than a toothy blowjob, I'm telling you.
Yeah, no. A bit of chicken, 2 bits of chicken.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was 2 bits of chicken with cheese, basically, wasn't it? That's all it was. And it's messy. Yeah, it's 2 fillet burgers with no bun. Well, why not just give me the bun? It becomes an actual burger then, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd rather have the bun.
Yeah, I would.
No, I do like. Well, do I like it? I'm not.
I weren't sold personally. I thought it was messy and a bit dry.
I like a bit of KFC, but I always regret it after I've eaten it.
Yeah. Thing is, you can't have KFC without the gravy, though, but that's my personal opinion anyway.
I'm from the north. You should have gravy on everything.
Well, I agree. I'm not being funny. Gravy does go with everything, and anyone that doesn't believe me, try it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Chips and gravy.
Chips and gravy. Fucking lovely.
Iceland do a big pot of frozen onion gravy.
Ooh, lovely.
Just put it in the microwave. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, away you go. In fact, funny enough, I think I'm having sausages with onion gravy for dinner tonight. Love a bit of that. Bit of mashed potato or salty boiled potatoes like my nan used to do. Lovely.
Yeah. I haven't had boiled potatoes and I don't know how long.
No,
I used to like them. Remember they used to get them in tins?
Oh, yeah. Little new potatoes in tins.
Yeah. Potatoes,
Still get them.
Yeah.
Thing is, my missus, she don't like boiled potatoes too much. If it ain't a roast potato or a baked potato, she doesn't really want to know. But for me personally, I've got to have every now and again salty boiled potatoes, bit of gravy on top, maybe a bit of mustard on the side. Lovely. Goes with everything.
My old granddad used to make, the old he didn't get the old Coleman's. He used to mix it in. It was like you could stand your spoon up and it was, you smear it on.
Yeah, lovely stuff. I never forget that
Coleman's. Blow your head off.
Yeah, Coleman's mustard. I love Coleman's mustard. Easily best English mustard you can get. But I never forget when I was a little boy. I said something in front of my nan once, and I can't remember what I said. Probably something like fuck, shit, bollocks, wank, or something, whatever. And she chased me into the kitchen, and I wasn't safe because the second I got in there, it dawned upon me, shit, it's either soap going in my mouth or mustard. It was the mustard. Funny enough, it burnt like fuck, but I got a bit of a taste for it. And when she realised that, she switched to the soap. Washed my mouth out with soapy water.
But it's funny the things nans do. I remember, like, it's like the things that you forget. I remember when I was a kid, I had a really sore throat. So my nan's the big tablespoon, big dollop of butter, splashing the vinegar on, and she's put sugar on the top. And I went, what's that for? She went straight in my mouth like that.
Yeah.
And it was disgusting and nice and all the same things that you but the vinegar and the butter just soothed the throat, and it was like, how do you know this? Because my nan told me, that sort of thing. My little one wouldn't touch that. She'd choke on it, but it's like
it's funny, the old remedies that the older generation had. I think, isn't it?
When I was in the army, I came back from Northern Ireland and I fell through a blackthorn hedge. Put my hand out, blackthorn went straight through my finger, right through. Snapped it off, and I thought I'd pulled it out. I hadn't, and it just crusted over, and it wept and it crusted over. And I went home on leave afterwards, and I went to see my nan. And she looked at that, what's that? And she went, come here. And then remember the old green soap? You don't get anymore, I don't think.
It's quite a dry texture after you'd rinsed it off, wasn't it? Yeah.
Just scraped a bit of that off, put it on there, and something else. That on for 3 days, it'll come out. And I did, because I don't want to clip round the ear off my nan. Anyway, as a grown soldier. So 3 days later, take it off, squeeze the finger, and the old blackthorn pops out.
Nice.
So, it works.
We've got someone in the chat here called Anton Charles, and he's been in a couple of my chats before, claiming to be Double Decker Anton. It's not Double Decker Anton. I did question him about it, Anton himself, and he said it's not him. And I did ask this Anton Charles, because he's using his profile picture. And I grilled him in one of my chats the other day, and it's not Anton, but he is. He says a big fan, and he wants to arrange a meeting with Anton. And I said I can't arrange that for Anton's safety. If you're going to want to arrange something, Anton Charles, you're going to have to arrange it through Double Decker Anton, and you're going to have to start thinking about changing your profile picture, because fan or not, that's impersonating someone. With all the best will in the world, you could be the biggest fan ever, but you do need to change your profile picture.
A while ago, and he said once you get you get a couple of subscribers coming in, some of them think you belong to them. And he said that he does have problems with people, because I did the question and answers, and I sent him a text saying, can you got any questions? He went, I don't. I went, that's not like him. Normally he sent a voice message about 8 hours long.
I do get some voice notes. I do get voice notes from Anton. They can be quite lengthy, but I said to him before, I said, look, if there's something you want to get off your chest, mate, you can talk to me. I've got a lot of time for Anton. He's had a lot of shit over the years, and I've got a lot of time for him. But again, I can understand why he's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yes, I suppose.
But he
said people. I said, I mean, I've got the startings of one. He just won't go away. He messages me all the time. And one day I know he'll be standing outside my house. I just know it. I don't know how, but I know it.
It's the sort of thing you just got to be aware of. If you start seeing the same face, it's like, okay, I saw you there yesterday. This is a bit strange. But yeah, I think just keep your wits about you. Can I use your profile picture instead? Says Anton Charles. I'd rather you didn't. I'm not giving you permission to use my profile picture instead. I mean, I'm taking it as a little bit of flattery, but no, I'm not gonna Vaping is pathetic, says Anton Charles. It's not. Actually, vaping actually stopped me from smoking, and this is 95% proven safer than smoking, and I haven't smoked for 5 years. In fact, I'm going to say this. If my cousin, rest his soul, had started vaping long before he got his diagnosis with cancer, it probably would have saved his life. So don't believe all the crap you hear about vaping. It isn't true. Vaping is an excellent way of stopping smoking. So just thought I'd get that out there. Sorry, Mike.
My missus vapes, but she vapes more now than she'd ever smoke. So,
but the difference is, I suppose,
worry about it. But I'm not up on the medical side of it. But she hasn't smoked a bag. She might have had the odd one when she's had a drink. But
yeah,
but hasn't had a fag. I don't know how long. Little was born. She's 8.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I know a lot about this because I promote a very well-known brand on Instagram called Riot Squad. And if I didn't believe in what it was and did my own research on what vaping was, I wouldn't touch it at the end of the day. So everything that's in there is found in everyday products like, I can't remember the bloody name of it now, but there's a chemical in there which you found in cowpole, for example.
Bleach and shoe polish.
Oh yeah, exactly. All the good stuff. You know, so it's all consumer grade products that are in there, and it is the best way of stopping smoking. I mean, you don't get the same amount of nicotine hit you get, but it is controllable. If you buy a big bottle, it's got 0 in there. You can add what you like to it. You can make it as strong or as weak as you like.
You know, it's got one it's just like a long pen. It's not like yours where you know it's like a big container full of whatever.
Well, that's actually a little one. That's a tiny little one. It's a tiny little bottle like that. That will last me about 2 or 3 days, and that's 10 milligram of nicotine. But
she funny enough, it's called Blue, something BLU. I don't know, whatever it is. But little bottle about that size will last her about a week, I suppose. Well, not even a week, 3 or 4 days. She's always topping it up. So,
hang on a sec. I've got this Charles Anton saying, so it's safe for children to vape. Great advice. No, I didn't say it's safe for children to vape. No one should start vaping if they've never smoked, and I wouldn't recommend anyone to start vaping if they've never smoked, and I certainly wouldn't recommend anything going into children's lungs other than air. So yeah, don't smoke and don't vape if you haven't started.
Be removed and blocked, to be honest, making comments like that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Anton Charles, you've just earned yourself a spot on the naughty corner, and I'm sorry, but you're going now. Goodbye.
I hope you come over to me now.
Oh, I don't know, but you do get some people. I mean, he was innocent enough as it is, but I just can't. I can't deal with some people sometimes.
Yeah, my daughter she does a little tutor after school some nights. I was taking her and I was down in Sidcup, and the missus I was in the cab and the missus was taking her in, and this kid comes running over. Oh, your Mike. He's like climbing through the window trying to. I'm like, whoa, fuck are you? He's like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. I'm like, listen, I just put the windows up, and the missus is like, who the fuck is that? And I went, I don't know. He never introduced himself. He just, he's like, I was like, fucking hell, I got some sort of luck child in Sidcup. But and I put it in one of my videos. I said, look, I didn't really want to be a bit rude, but you put me on my back foot a bit, and he messaged me. He said, look, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean it. So he hasn't spoken to me since, but why?
Yeah, I've got more people here now. So I've got one called JFK. Why are you telling children to vape? No, I'm not. I said some of the chemicals found in e-liquid is found in cowpole. That's what I said. And
why are you even entertaining it?
I know.
Just magic rid it. Get rid.
Report spam. See you later. There you go, son. remove. There you go. I don't know. I should actually get someone to moderate this, but it's just difficult, really. And I don't think anyone wants to spend their time going through comment sections on a pokey little YouTube channel like mine, really. But it is what it is. Say again?
Jack probably would. Transport hub.
He probably would, actually, but he's got a lot on his plate at the moment. So...
It's been doing what we do, and people, you know, you may have spoken to these people, I don't know, but I speak to him. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know how old he is. You know,
what, Jack?
Yeah.
I've been speaking to Jack for the last couple of years since he's been following my channel, and he's a young lad. He's about 17 years old. It was his birthday recently, actually, and he's doing his exams, and he's absolutely dead focused. In fact, he actually done a short recording on one of my videos on a thank you to the NHS that I done on last year, and all he said was thank you, and I got everyone that I knew and that I asked just to say thank you. And then I edited the thing together, saying thank you, thank you, thank you. He is who he says he is. He's a genuine chap.
Yeah, no, and I didn't think anything other. But you know, it's like it's not just him. It's everyone else. You know, they just, unless you actually meet them face to face, they're just faceless names, aren't they?
They are. You know, unless you. And the thing is, it's because I've got Jack on my Facebook. Is very few, very, very few subscribers that I will allow onto my Facebook. I've put a stop to it. But Jack is genuine. He's 100%. He's got Art of Gold. Hang on, what's this? Remove. There we go. So you've got the same person now called Wheelbarrow going through the motions. So, hey ho. Blocked, removed. I'm going to go through that later on, and it is what it is. Anyway, what time is it? It's 6 minutes past 12, Mike. I need to go do myself some lunch because I'm absolutely Hank Marvin, I think. So
yeah,
I really appreciate you joining me.
No, it's been nice. I've enjoyed it.
On this Zoom call. We've never spoke before, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it.
Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, there'll be a next one. You get me on one of yours. All right?
They won't let me go live because I haven't got enough subscribers.
But have you got a computer?
No, I usually do it on the phone. I've got one, but I don't use it.
I'm streaming this through Streamlabs. Or Streamlabs OBS, or directly through another program called OBS. Just connect Zoom to it on a screen capture, and it does it. But if they changed the rules about a year and a half ago on YouTube. It was a bit of a git because you could stream live below 1,000 subs, and they changed the rules, so you needed 1,000 subs in order to go live. But I just crept in, so a bit fortunate with that, I think. But other than that, I'm going to say have a wonderful day.
And you.
Enjoy your day off. And
day off? I don't have days off. I've got to deal with this shit.
Oh, wonderful. Anyway.
Trade union.
Wonderful. Anyway, go on. I'm going to end this, and you have an absolutely cracker, mate. See you later.
And you, mate. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, mate.